Hey, question for you. Have you seen a giant Pacific octopus around here? About 60 pounds, like 6 more hands than I have. Can't miss them? All right, well, we'll look for them. We got to get going here because New Day Northwest starts right now.
It's a new day.
Now, from the Virginia Mason Franciscan Health Studio at King 5 in downtown Seattle, this is New Day Northwest.
And welcome to New Day Northwest. I am not Kelly Hansen. Don't attempt to adjust your television set. I am Chris Cashman. So thrilled to be hosting New Day today while my friend Kelly takes the day off. And if you're all worried about, how's today going to turn out? Trust me, it's going to be a great show. And that's not just me thinking positive, because part of it is me being positive. I'm a positive guy, but it's also because this day starts with improv and hot topics. It's almost guaranteed to be special. Here we go.
New Day Hot Topics is brought to you by Silver Reef Casino.
Our guest today from Jet City Improv, M.E. Chow is here, just one initial in that. That's a flex. We're going to talk about that. And Devin Chien is here as well. Rounding out the table, producer Susie is here. How fun is this? Yes. Hot Topics. Can we just start with that? The M.E. Chow. Is that a family name, or is that sort of a stage name?
The M is for mystery. No, my first name is just Michael. The only reason I go by M is because there's 8 other Michaels in any given scenario, and people get confused.
Okay, so we asked because, did any of you ever have nicknames or consider, like my father, a lot of people know my dad, Pat Cashman, but a lot of people don't realize his name is actually Maurice. It's actually Morris Patrick Cashman. He changed it, that was a middle name, so a lot of people do that, and then you find out in adult life, like, that's not your actual name.
Right.
Did you ever have a fake name, a stage name, anything like that?
I always wanted a different name because we had a dairy growing up called Gia Capuzzi Dairy, and they always called me Susie Gia Capuzzi. So I always kind of imagined that I could have a different name like Roxanne or something.
Yeah.
So, but it never stuck. So
Devin, did you ever stage name anything?
No, unfortunately, my name's short enough, quick enough that people just can yell it quickly.
Easy.
Perfect.
I had one nickname growing up, and I didn't like it at first and then grew to love it. And since my name is Yi Chow, because I usually go by that instead of Michael, some people started calling me Chowder. And I was like, okay. And so it kind of grew on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
we can call you that.
You would be in a rare bubble of folks.
Fine.
Speaking of which, bubble, we have some drinks in front of us. We don't want to let these get stale. Susie,
So
these are like the hot thing, right?
These are the new McDonald's. McDonald's is trying something new. They're going with a whole new style. When you walk in, it looks like a tropical cafe a little bit.
They released these yesterday, these new line of drinks.
And I think they would look better in these cups.
Those are the refreshers.
These are the refreshers, which are right here.
All natural colors, as you can see from that image.
But you all have the dirty Dr. Pepper. So,
okay, so we're just supposed to take a sip of what
Yeah.
they're branding. Brand new release, Dirty Dr. Pepper. Oh. You want your doctors dirty.
I don't love Dr. Pepper, but it has vanilla and cold foam, which I'm not sure what that is. But
Finally, they've
what do you guys think?
found a way to add more sugar to Dr. Pepper.
You like it?
I mean, it's right. If you're a fan of Dr. Pepper, it's kind of like maybe
Okay,
they
what
get
about
together with
these?
a cream soda.
Try one.
Okay.
These are the
So, yeah,
refreshers.
this is an orange dream. I don't know
This
what
is,
it
I think mine has strawberries in it.
oh,
What is that?
it's some sort of an electric blue, and it's got about every flavor in the world in there.
I tried a blueberry one, but after the Dr. Pepper, I can't taste anything anymore. It's just all flattened out. It's all sugar.
Not sure if that's what they're going for.
Mine was a strawberry refresher,
People
and I
are
agree
wondering-
with you, Cho.
Yeah.
Well, and people are wondering, is this just another evolution, or we've heard the stories that they've taken the soda machines dun dun dun
They have.
out of the lobbies.
They have. In fact, there was a sign that said no refills either. So, which hurts my heart because I'm a Diet Coke girl and I want to refill sometimes. But I think this is their idea of kind of making a little upscale.
A little more elevated,
Okay.
But does it need to be?
People love options and drinks. Boy, that's profit, right? This is flavored.
But
beverage.
again, it's McDonald's. Does it need to be elevated?
They're competing with Starbucks and
Yeah,
their
they are.
There you go.
refreshers.
Yeah, the
so
refreshers might sound familiar to people.
It's a convenience. How fast can you get in and out of a Starbucks versus a McDonald's?
Devin just provided us with a professional segue. Saying convenience, because convenience might have been, you could argue convenience was the reason that people flew on Spirit Airlines, and that's all in the headlines because we all woke up and saw, wait, Spirit just suddenly shut down. It just suddenly went out of business, immediately stranded passengers and employees, and of course the internet responded, as it does, with all the memes in the world.
This is great because a Spirit Halloween shows up in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Every
It's not
July.
a terrible idea. Question, have you flown Spirit before?
I have.
Loved and hated, but never ignored Spirit.
The first time I flew it, I didn't know what I was getting into, and I was like, why is this so terrible? And the second time I flew it, I was like, I have a 2-day trip, I just have a backpack, this is exactly what I want, at the price I want it, and this is the only time it made sense, when I had that really weird little trip. So.
Okay, what about you?
I have
Spirit?
not, unfortunately. I do, now that they're gone, I regret it, but I have not.
Well, some say Spirit will always be with us in
Yes.
Spirit.
In Spirit.
Have you tortured yourself on Spirit?
I have not. I kept doing the math, and every time I tried to add it all up, it
Sure.
didn't add up. And I've heard horror stories.
Sure.
But
I was
a
gonna
lot
say
of
it's
people loved it.
One of my favorite genres on YouTube is just people saying, today I'm going to do the scariest thing in the world. I'm flying across the country on Spirit. Let's see what happens.
I did think it was funny that Facebook, they'd put up a fake Facebook Marketplace
Right.
ad where they were, yes,
Here it is.
You know, there it is, that you could just get
Screaming deal.
a screaming deal on an Airbus. And
But once you add in all the fees, it's no longer a screaming
here
deal.
we go, you know, runs and drives great.
All right. So speaking of places to go, the Met Gala. Is it ever okay to skip something as prestigious as that? Because it was in the news, it just happened, and if you had to choose that or the New York Knicks playoff game that was happening the same night, the same city, it did happen earlier this week, and it was a bit of a shock pop culture-wise because people went, what, Timothée Chalamet? He didn't show up with his girlfriend, Kylie Jenner, because they were at the game. He's a Knicks fan, he had floor seats, and fellow fan Ben Stiller is a huge fan. He's always there, but he showed up with his wife at the gala. So, which would you choose?
I think we're theater kids, so if it's the Met Gala, you know.
I mean, I'd bring it local. Let's just say it wasn't the Knicks.
Yeah.
Let's say our Supersonics
Yeah.
were hosting a playoff game.
Okay.
Would you be over at the arena with your Sonics, or would you be at something like the Met Gala that is this big photographed thing?
Yeah.
Which is a fundraiser, we should say, by the way. A lot of people don't even know what the Met
But you
Gala
have to
is
dress
for,
up.
but it is for
Yeah,
Metropolitan
putting on a
Museum
And
of
the
Art.
makeup and the hair.
It's a lot of work.
I
so.
think just because it is the arts,
Yeah.
and I unfortunately did not live here when the Supersonics were here.
You'll be here for the dramatic
I will
comeback.
for the relaunch.
Yep,
But I would definitely, if we were at like the Sam, I would much rather be at the Sam.
for sure. What do you think?
fair.
I mean, a lot of
Game.
pressure.
If it's your passion, I say the game. I don't have a problem with Timothy.
that's
He went
fair.
where his passion was. He lives with Kylie Jenner. He
Yeah.
gets to be with her all the time.
It's great
Fair.
that they're doing
It's fine.
separate things,
I like your standpoint.
chasing their love.
Love it.
We must quickly talk about the micro dramas. They're on the rise.
Yeah.
These are a thing. Everything from 1 minute to 3 minutes. You can roll your eyes and say, nobody's watching these. I popped one up the other day and I noticed it had over 330 million views.
Ooh.
So they are
Wow.
undeniable. Are you watching these, anybody?
I am.
Okay, fair.
I do love sitting on TikTok, and they do pop up. They're very easy, convenient.
Yeah.
You know, they give you all the plot points. But, you know, in the end, it does waste a lot of your time. You could be doing something else.
Yeah.
1 minute at a time.
Yeah, exactly right.
That's
Speaking of which,
impressive.
we have just a minute left. We want to make sure we shift to you guys because as improvisers and improv performers, you get to see it sort of like change people's lives. We're talking about short attention spans with these micro dramas. What are you seeing in your crowds?
Yeah, I think it's been really exciting to do improv right now because with people being really online and watching these really short things, we're doing a 90-minute show, which is not long in theater terms, but we're seeing people be excited and they're engaged, and it's just a change of pace. I was saying earlier, it's a little bit like you want a good breakfast burrito to grab on the way out, and that's your microdrama. But sometimes you want to sit down for a nice meal, and that's going to the theater, going to have a live experience, and seeing
Love
people
that.
do things on stage that are really fun and unique, and you're only going to see it once.
Devin, give us a quick take on the show you're doing right now.
Oh, it's great if you love microdramas because it moves fast. It's interesting. There is drama. There's love. There's fantasy and fighting and exploration.
What's it called?
Not Another Isekai.
I love it.
And interactive, right?
Yeah,
You really have to pay
improvised.
attention and give your time and your energy and your thoughts and ideas, which is what I love about improv, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And good news is people could still see it, right? That Jet City Improv show. Not Another Isekai runs through the end of the month. Plus, they've got another great show and even some classes. You can find all of this and then some on the Jet City website. Very cool. Thanks for being here.
Yeah,
Thank you
our
so much
pleasure.
for
All right, I
having
love
us.
this. All right, hey, Carnival Magic is taking over Silver Reef Resort and Casino every Saturday in May. Step right up to the ultimate duck pond for your shot at massive payouts. Pick the right lucky duck and you could instantly score up to $10,000 cash. You can check out more details at silverreefcasino.com. Still ahead on New Day Northwest, a New York Times best-selling book based here in Washington State is about to hit streaming giant Netflix. And next, we sit down with the author of Remarkably Bright Creatures as her beloved novel is made into a movie. Plus, if you can't stand the heat, well, then you should get out of the kitchen or at least get some hot sauce and then get back in it. We're cooking with Papa Tony and his hot sauce.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Silver Reef Casino, your Northwest Washington destination, just off I-5 at exit 260.
A Tacoma native's debut novel turned movie is about to hit the biggest streaming service in the world. Remarkably Bright Creatures captured the hearts of audiences, selling millions of copies and becoming a New York Times bestseller. And now the movie adaptation is hitting Netflix tomorrow, starring Sally Field. The story is based right here in Washington State. How excited are we to welcome Remarkably Bright Creatures author Shelby Van Pelt to New Day Northwest. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
This is so exciting. I've had so many dreams about being an author. Then one day you get to make it into a movie, and then you're working with Sally Field. I would argue you just won the Triple Crown.
It was beyond anything that I could have imagined, yes.
How exciting is this whole journey for you, from the book to suddenly a movie, and a movie with star power, and now on the biggest streaming service? People around the world this time tomorrow are going to have been obsessing over your movie.
It's wild, and I love the movie. You know, I've had so many author friends who have sort of gone on this journey, and they don't always love the movie. And I really genuinely love it so much. I'm so excited that people are going to be able to watch it tomorrow.
Well, and of course, there's some complications when you go from taking a book. You can't squeeze everything into the movie. Some things have to go. What was that process like? Because you were the executive producer, and that comes with a little bit of extra pressure.
Yeah, you know, so the plot varies a little bit versus the book, but the characters are exactly right. And to me, that mattered so much more than this scene, that scene. Is it exactly as it is in the book? Like, I can handle so much variation there. Yeah. But the characters needed to be right, and they got them right.
Well, and the movie, you know, it is by all measures a drama, but it, to me, has something that you don't get as much of in movies anymore, is wonder. Just to allow yourself to imagine and to dream, and what if, and this could happen, and I loved that. Of course, hard not to love your cast. Let's talk about that a little bit. Sally Field plays the main character, not the octopus Tova, but what was that like to see one of these legends embody your work?
Sally Field is incredible.
Yeah.
You know, she really put a lot into the role. With Lewis Pullman playing opposite her, the character of Cameron, watching the two of them on set was magic. They had such great chemistry. You know, the script was wonderful, but I feel like they also ad-libbed a lot of scenes and just brought this really great kind of comic timing, just genuine chemistry to the role.
People are excited to realize that, hey, this is a reflection of our backyard.
Yes.
A lot of this is about your roots growing up in Tacoma. How did that shape this movie?
I mean, I always wanted the book to be set in the Pacific Northwest, largely because I wanted Marcellus, the octopus, to be very close to his native environment. You know, literally it's right there, but he's stuck in an aquarium and he can't get there. And you know, one of the things that I've lived all over the country. I live in the Chicago area now. Trying to describe the Pacific Northwest to people who haven't been here is sometimes really challenging. And I wanted people to get it. I wanted people to understand and feel it.
And I would assume, you know, choosing the perspective of an octopus definitely shaped by growing up near the water, and Tacoma may or may not be home to a giant kraken that may or may not live out there
under the Narrows Bridge. I've heard.
Right?
I've heard.
Yeah. What is going through your mind right now as this is the day before it becomes for real all over the world?
Yeah, it's so exciting. I'm kind of I'm bracing myself and looking forward to just the flood of reactions that I know are going to come through tomorrow after the film is out for real. And you know, a lot of tears, I think, happy tears from folks that are watching it. It's going to be happy tears from me too.
We were talking about the fact that you have to, you know, adapt this from the book to a screen. Do you think your loyal fans are going to be satisfied? Are they going to say, this adaptation works, this is it?
I do think they will be satisfied. There are so many cool little things in the film that you might not notice if you haven't read the book, but if you have, they almost come across like little Easter eggs. They took just great attention to detail with some of these little things, and you know, a reader might see it and go like, I get that. It's a little inside joke almost.
Now, this is one of those things where, you know, you're the author, executive producing. Were you on the set?
I spent about a week on the set, yeah.
What was that like? I mean, to see
really
your
fun.
ideas, your vision being acted by famous actors.
It was fun, but it was also, I mean, a little bit overwhelming because it's like all of these people are here because I made some things up at my kitchen table a few years ago.
Right.
I mean, it's wild.
Right. I know it can be annoying when you've got an accomplishment like this. You write New York Times bestseller, then you've got a movie. It's coming out tomorrow, and then people are already saying, "So what's next?" Shelby?
Yes, people are saying
are you,
that.
I mean, we must know.
Thank
Are you
you.
writing a new book? Are you what's in the works?
I am. I'm working on a new book. It's not done yet. It's a very different process this time around, sort of knowing how the sausage is made. There's a lot of expectations, I think, and I have to sometimes get out of my own head a little bit when I sit down to write.
This process doesn't happen overnight. Sometimes people see movies and they think, oh, you just got together a few minutes ago to make it. From writing the book, years later, getting this made into a movie. How much of your life has been wrapped up into this?
Well, gosh, I had the idea for the book in, I think it was 2013.
Wow.
I should say the character of writing from the perspective of an octopus. And so it's been a long journey. Truly, I think it's been about 2 years that the movie's been in the works. So yeah, it feels like it's been a long time coming, but also has gone by really fast.
Everybody's going to get to see it starting tomorrow. And what do you hope as, the source for this, what do you hope people will take away from this? Other than the fact that it is beautiful and wonderful and feel good and the wonder, what do you hope that people watch this and feel or take away?
Well, I think it's a story about kind of that it's never too late to change. It's never too late to find joy after hard things. A lot of these characters are sort of later in life. You have Marcellus the octopus, who's literally at the end of his lifespan, and he still manages to find purpose.
Very cool. Congratulations. We are so excited for you. And a
Thank
reminder,
you.
Remarkably Bright Creatures, starring Sally Field and Louis Pullman, comes to Netflix tomorrow, May 8th. Coming up next, from local flavors to the stories behind the sips, the author is here with his new book, Drinking Up the Pacific Northwest. Our next guest has a thirst for adventure and great local flavor. Daniel Seddiqui is back with a brand new book, Drinking Up the Pacific Northwest, exploring the stories, people, and drinks that define our region. Welcome, Daniel. Great to see you.
You too.
You're known to be like the most traveled man in the world. How did you get this reputation?
Yeah, traveling means a lot to me. It's about breaking up the every day, and the anticipation and expectation of change is how I define it. So when I travel, I'm expecting my perspective to change, my mood to change, getting experiences under my belt. And I started actually 17 years ago, and I was covered by King 5 back in 2008.
Welcome back, by the way.
And it went viral. It was like back in those days, that's what viral meant, when you were wired to different stations around the country. And I was like, okay, I guess this is meaningful for me. And
when you've traveled the U.S. 25 times over, so should we give people context to why we're saying that?
Yeah, a lot.
Wow.
25 times minimum each state. So I'm, you could say, obsessed with traveling and learning about people and getting new experiences and writing books.
There's a lot of wonderful places around the country. What inspired you to write this one, Drinking Up the Pacific Northwest?
Well, the Northwest, in my opinion, is the most beautiful in terms of the nature, but it's also known for the beverage belt, is what I call it, because you got pressing, brewing,
everybody knows coffee and wine, but our drink culture is a thing.
Yeah, you got coffee, wine, kombucha, beer. Bend, where I live, Bend, Oregon.
Hey,
you got ciders.
That's where my parents are right now.
You got ciders in all of Washington. So I wanted to call it the beverage belt, and for people all across the country who are reading this book to learn about this region, not just for its nature, but also because of the industry.
Yeah. Well, you talk about, we got a robust one, so how do you decide what to feature, what drinks, what places, what people?
So the theme of this series that I wrote is about hands-on immersive travel, and so you could take lessons on and also make things. So you can make, for one of the books I did Music of the South, so you can make songs or write songs, you can make instruments, learn how to dance. For this one, it's about the beverages, so you can learn how the brewing process works. You can learn about fermenting, all sorts of things.
Speaking of which, you brought kombucha with you.
Yeah.
What did you discover about this drink?
Well, it's like a 1,000-year-old drink.
Yeah.
But
good for
it
gut
was
health.
popularized in Portland, Oregon, and some of the biggest brands in the world are based in Portland.
Yeah.
So I'm not a fan of, like, I mean, I can't believe I'm admitting this, but I don't drink alcohol, I don't drink coffee or kombucha, but I wrote a book about beverages.
Hey, that's fair. I don't drink alcohol.
yeah.
I love coffee and I love kombucha. This is
Yeah.
a great substitution. So this is just one of the things that you're discovering. What are some of the lessons that you've learned from the road? I mean, it's intimidating to say that
Yeah.
you've traveled the country 25 times minimum.
Yeah.
What are some of the lessons you've learned?
I've reflected a lot on the lessons, and you know, the people that you meet can create your destiny.
Absolutely.
But they
Yeah.
also don't choose the end of the road for you. Like if I get rejected by an employer, that doesn't mean they're going to choose my destiny for me, but they might redirect me on a new path. Or being in a relationship, you know, if someone leaves you, that changes your life, but it's not the end of your life, you know. So just also working with purpose. You know, I like to say a toy of a battery will always be recharged if it's useful. So I try to find purpose whenever I travel. Every time I go to a different state or a new state, I go in with a different mission in mind. So my first journey ever was 50 jobs in 50 states during the recession. So I got a chance to be a logger in Oregon, made cheese in Wisconsin, worked on a lobster boat in Maine, coal mine in West Virginia. And so that's kind of what started it. And then the curiosity kept growing and growing as I was traveling and meeting different types of people and just learning from them. And that's what inspired me to continue this path of discovery.
I love guidebooks. I love pro tips and hacks and all of these things. In every section you have called While You Were Here. Why was that something that you thought was important?
Because there's things that you shouldn't miss. Even though it's not part of the theme of the book, like the beverage, I think you still should immerse into the culture, not just the industries, but just the way of life. And so Seattle is very interesting. It's got some of the best music scenes. The ferry, you got to take the ferry and go to San Juan Islands, for instance. I mean, there's a lot to see.
Did this whole process in making this sort of change the way that you look at the Northwest?
Not necessarily. Every time I come here, it's pretty cloudy. That doesn't change, but
that's good marketing. We want people to believe that. You know?
Yeah. And same with Oregon too.
Right.
But yeah, no. Every time I go to the state again, I have a different experience, and so I never judge a state or a city by my first time experience. I go back and it's a whole new thing, new perspective.
Well, this is a very exciting. This is special for you to be bringing this by with us. You've been all around the country. He wrote a book about our backyard. That's a pretty special thing.
Oh, it's beautiful.
In fact, we should make sure that folks know that you're going to be, Daniel will be at Elliott Bay Book Company tonight. 7 o'clock. He's going to be chatting about his travels. Who knows what you'll be drinking tonight? Could be coffee, could be kombucha. Well, we know it's not coffee for you.
Right.
But you're going to find all the details on Elliott Bay's website.
Yeah.
All right, the Mariners coming up with a huge win against a tough opponent. Who's coming up clutch? That's next in the Home Plate Report.
It's a new day.
Welcome back to New Day. Today, the Mariners are enjoying a much-deserved day off. Look at them soaring before they dive into a 13-day stretch of games that's just around the bend here. That got me exhausted just thinking about it. 13 games in a row. They're already on the road. But we're not too tired to talk about a little baseball.
It's time for the Home Plate Report, sponsored by Pemco Insurance, helping the Pacific Northwest worry less and live more.
Yeah, you might recognize my next guest from his clever sports videos on TikTok and Instagram. Somehow he manages to nail the highs and the lows of being a Mariners fan. Welcome back to the show, Juan Sanchez. Look at you, influencing on widescreen today, right? Look at us.
That's awesome.
Great to have you back here.
Thank you for having me
It's so
back.
fun to watch you online. So many fans watch you, and for your perspective, let's start with pitcher Brian Wu.
Yeah.
Because it's been a little bit of up, a little bit of down.
Yep, definitely.
Some rocky starts lately, but he's starting to turn things around. What did you see from Wu?
Yeah, so
You were there.
Yeah, I was at the game yesterday. Honestly, I saw a determined Wu to kind of go out and prove that his last 2 starts were a fluke, and to prove that he's still one of the best pitchers in the league. And honestly, I think he proved that yesterday against a very good Atlanta Braves team, and handed them their first series loss of the season. So, I mean, if that's the case, and then by default, that means the Mariners are the best team in the league right now. So, don't you think so?
Hey, I was there for game 2, and I remember fans asking each other, saying, "What are we to think? Is it a good season yet? Is it a good season yet?" So now that they just, it was a rocky start,
It was,
but they just beat the team, a series winner. win against the team with the best record in baseball.
Yeah.
So how exciting is that? Is that what you need to see as a true Mariners fan to believe again?
Well, to believe again, I wish we could beat the smaller teams too. I mean, we got swept by Kansas City, which they weren't very good of a team to begin with. But
that keeps us humble.
Yeah, but it's encouraging to see that we're beating a team like the Braves. You know, they're a very good, solid lineup. So I mean, that just kind of gives me hope for the rest of the season.
This is the point of the season early on where people start to pick their favorites. Who's standing out to you early on?
Honestly, I think Emerson Hancock right now. He's doing really good right now. I mean, on last Saturday, he threw 14 Ks, no walks, which is awesome to see. That was the last time I think somebody did that since, I believe, it was Kirby. It might have been last year. So that was really good to see. And then also Julio Rodriguez, he had 3 home runs during the homestand, which is so awesome to see because he's known to be kind of a slow starter. So now kind of seeing this in the beginning of the season is kind of encouraging to see from him.
Let's talk about the standings. It's they're hitting the road. They got 13 in front of them here. Let's talk about where they are at in the AL West. The Mariners' position in the division, they haven't changed. They remain in second place behind the A's, followed by the Rangers, the Astros, and the Angels. So what do you think when you're seeing these standings? Because just a week ago, people were in panic mode.
I think we're in a good spot right now. It's still really early on in the season. I mean, we're only 1 game back from the Athletics, which is, it's not too bad. I think we're coming up on a stretch right now, which should be pretty good for us to hopefully kind of make up a little bit of ground, maybe kind of go into first place with a couple games up by the end of the stretch. So I'm encouraged by where we're at right now. There's still a long season to go.
You just talked about a couple of guys that stood out to you. Let's talk about the team leaders and where things are at here, because we have some changes this week here. We have some changes, including Cole Young. He now leads in batting average and RBIs. Cal Raleigh remains your home run leader. J.P. Crawford now has the best on-base percentage, and Julio is your hits leader, just like that.
Yeah.
Anything about this leaderboard jump out to you?
If you guys see my content, you guys know I'm a Julio stan. So
Yes.
I'm going to talk about Julio because Julio's known to kind of be a little bit of a slow starter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of encouraging to see him kind of get it going early on in the season. So like 39 hits is awesome to see. So I mean, I have a lot of hopes for Julio because I know he's an MVP caliber player.
Yeah.
And so I think if he puts together a first and second half, I think he can be that MVP candidate that we all know he can be.
Well, and they say never meet your heroes, but you met Julio.
I've met Julio 3 or 4 times, and every time he's awesome, and he's one of the best. Honestly, he's just so humble and so grateful just to meet his fans, So he's one of my favorites. So
one of my favorite Julio moments was as they unveiled the Ichiro statue. I was out there with the press, and I was recording it just myself for social media, and I noticed that hidden amongst the crowd was Julio with his hood on.
But I spotted
him, and he had
incognito,
an old school camcorder, and he was recording it for himself with a camcorder. So he's a character. We love him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Let's talk about what's on deck for the Mariners. Next week, as we said, they're on the road. They're starting a 7-day road trip. Tomorrow, 3 games against the White Sox before heading down to Houston for 4-game divisional series. What do we know about this White Sox team?
So this White Sox team is a much improved from over the last year. They only won 60 games last year, which is probably ranks amongst one of the worst teams in the league. This year they have Japanese superstar Munetaka Murakami. He's tearing the league right now. He's leading the league in home runs with 14. So as long as we can kind of stop him, I think we should be okay with the White Sox.
You are establishing your credibility. You know your stuff, but you also have a ton of fun on social media, and that makes it so fun to watch. How did your channel get started? When did you decide to do this? Was it just for you in the beginning?
Yeah, so it was like a year ago. I started making videos. I would watch other creators on the platform kind of just make videos, and I kind of told myself, I kind of want to do what they're doing. And so last year I started making videos, and then every time I come to like a Mariners game, people come up to me and be like, "Hey man, I love your videos, love your content." So that kind of inspires me to kind of keep going and just make videos that people can enjoy.
Everybody loves a hometown hero, a hometown kid when they make the team, so it's great to see you doing this your way for the fans.
Yep.
Talk about, you told us about your channel, but on your channel, one of the things that you do is you use props a lot. You brought some with you.
I did.
We should talk about the Trident Cup right here because, people have seen this before, but you've got a new and improved version.
Yeah, so this is a new and improved version of the Trident Cup. It's got the lanyard here. So this is at the stadium. It's $15.99. You also get unlimited refills all season long. So you can take it home, bring it back, and you can refill the cup as much as you want.
It's a practical prop.
Yeah, it's a practical prop. I mean, you can use it. Yesterday I was using it as a necklace. I was kind of holding it like this, drinking from it. I mean, I've seen people use it as a purse. They can just like wear it as a purse. You can do whatever you want with it.
Hey, hydration is important.
Yeah, you can take it to the park, take it wherever you want, to church, to the bar, wherever,
You got some other goodies.
Yeah, and I also brought some giveaway ideas that I had in mind. So this is a no-fly zone.
So you're pitching your own products.
Yeah. Yeah, I made.
If the Mariners are
I kind of made this yesterday.
You're giving them unofficial permission to do this. My dad started something like this way back with a fake funny nose glasses night. To pretend it was so popular that they ended up doing it. So this could work.
Yeah. So it's a no-fly zone swatter. So hey Mariners, if you guys are watching, here's one idea. I got another idea here. It's the Josh Naylor headband hair night. So as we all know, he likes to rock his headbands, and I think how cool would it be to watch 20,000 people in the stands wearing this, like on a Friday night? How awesome would that be,
I was there a couple of days ago, and I got to say, Naylor is just a fun player
so much
to watch.
fun, man.
Some players just come up to bat, and they give you confidence that they're going to get us out of this situation. He's that guy for me.
I have all the confidence in the world in him.
Very cool. Well, so fun to have you here, man. Thank you so much for being here and doing this.
Yeah.
Keep up with your channel. Let people know, how can they find you if they want to find you?
Yeah, so Instagram is Jones_101, and then on TikTok is Jones101. So that's where you guys can find me.
So cool, man.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Go
Appreciate
Mariners.
it. Go Mariners.
Hey, next on New Day, hip pain is not just a part of getting older. The early warning signs of arthritis and the treatments out there to help you avoid major surgery and recover faster. Right after the break.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by Pemco Insurance.
Hip pain can sneak up on anyone from young athletes to active adults. If it's ignored, it can bring bigger problems down the road. And here to share more about what you should know about hip injuries, Dr. Nicholas Vaudreuil with ProLiant Surgeons Everett Bone and Joint joins me right now. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks,
This is
Chris.
an important topic here. Tell us a little bit about your background first.
Sure, yeah. So I'm a board-certified orthopedic surgeon. I practice in Everett, Washington at ProLiant EBJ. And my subspecialty is sports medicine. And sports medicine surgery can mean a lot of different things. Generally, it's soft tissue injuries, so muscles, tendons, ligaments, cartilage, and special structures inside the joints like labrum tears or meniscus tears. And depending on the provider, it can be either like a really narrow scope of practice or wide. So I wanted to be able to sort of be like a team doctor for my patients and treat as many conditions as possible. So I treat shoulders, elbows, knees, and hips. And the cool thing about sports medicine is the training is designed such that you can do minimally invasive surgical approaches for pretty major injuries.
And you're seeing a lot of people coming in with hip pain.
Yeah, that's a special interest of mine because it's a condition where if we can prevent people from getting arthritis, like bone-on-bone arthritis is such a tough problem. So many people have it, and the options once you get to that point are pretty limited. So I want to kind of preserve hips and prevent arthritis as much as I can. And there's two conditions that really, if you can treat them early on in the course when people are just starting to get symptoms, that you can prevent people from getting arthritis. And those two kind of go hand in hand. One is hip impingement. And one is hip labrum tears. And the way I like to describe it is impingement is basically like two edges of the structure at the joint are impacting or bumping, grinding that shouldn't be. So the top of the hip is actually like a cup, and the lower part, the femur bone, is it's almost like a lollipop. And it's designed to bear weight and twist and do all the cool stuff that we can do. But if there's extra bone either on the top of that lollipop or at the edge of the socket, then you're really damaging the cartilage and the labrum and the bone, and that can lead to early arthritis. So I always want to get these people in early, so if we can figure out a treatment plan that works well for them.
Yeah, when do people know it's time to come see you? I mean, you wake up sore one day. When do you know that it's time to come see you? And then maybe even the next step, when do they know it's time to get surgery?
Totally. So the most classic symptoms people have with this is actually pain like deep in the front of their hip or groin. It's almost like in the underwear line. And sometimes it's pretty mild at rest, but when you're doing activities like running or bending, squatting, lifting weights, you can get pretty sharp stabbing pain or clicking, catching, all those sorts of things. And from my perspective, if it's getting to the point where you're having almost daily or it's affecting your recreations, your sports, then you should get it evaluated because for each patient, it's going to be a different experience. We try to avoid surgery if we can. Like if I can get people back without symptoms or minimal pain, get them back to their activities without surgery, then that's a win for both of us. But if surgery becomes necessary, I want to be able to offer those minimally invasive approaches to people. So the most common thing we do is called hip arthroscopy or hip scope. And basically what that is we do 3 small incisions on sort of the side of the hip and thigh where we can go in with the camera and we actually look at look at the labrum, the cartilage, all that stuff. So we're able to actually reattach the labrum back to the bone with little anchors and stitches, and we can actually sculpt away that extra bone spurring so that it's not slamming and catching that edge anymore.
Wow. So when do you know that it is time to do that? Because for some people it might be not the last or a drastic resort. Maybe it's going to be the best choice given their situation.
Right, and it's different for everybody. Like I see patients from teenagers all the way up, you know, and some people doing certain activities might feel this when they're a teenager, but some people might just have like low-level pain that they're noticing throughout the day. So it really is just depending on like how much it's limiting people. So surgery is always a discussion. I don't want to rush into it, so it's usually not something I'm recommending at the first time we meet, but again, it's sort of, we want to cater the experience to every patient.
This stuff can be scary. It's all about who you know. Why should people consider reaching out to you and ProLiance specifically for their injuries?
Yeah, so ProLiance Everett Bone and Joint, we cover a number of conditions. Both me and my partners, we're happy to see people of all ages, and consider us because we're part of the community. We want to take care of our community, keep our people moving. High school athletes up through weekend warriors. So. And
that's a great point there. Are you seeing mostly people in advanced age, or is it athletic injuries? Or is it somewhere in the middle?
It's everything in between.
Wow, okay.
I'd like to think that we just take care of our community, and we want to get people back in the game, whatever their desired level of sport or recreation might be.
Thanks so much for doing this. This is an important thing. We were talking a little bit before the show. I know bone density, hips, all of these things are much more important than maybe the average person thinks about, and we shouldn't probably wait until we can't walk with it, right? When do they know? I'm sure there's some people watching when you said, hey, you're going to feel it in the front of your hip. There's at least some viewers right now saying, well, that's what I feel. What's the next step? How do they reach out?
You're exactly right, Chris. Well, you can reach us on our website. I think we'll be able to pop up the link here. And we have descriptions about different things. But please just reach out to us. We're happy to get people in right away. If you're having that hip or groin pain, please come in and see me.
Thanks for helping us take some of the confusion, some of the fear out of this. This is important stuff. To learn more information about ProLiance Surgeons Everett Bone and Joint, just visit the website. You see it right there on your screen. All right, we're heading to the kitchen after the break with Tony from Papa Tony's Hot Sauce. Don't go far.
New Day Northwest is sponsored by ProLiance Surgeons Everett Bone and Joint. New Day Northwest is sponsored by your Western Washington Hyundai dealers.
It's a new day.
It is time for you to nominate a Hyundai hero, hometown hero. King 5 is teaming up with Hyundai to give away a brand new Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid to one deserving person in our community. Here's Corey Baum from your Western Washington Hyundai dealers to tell us about one of the car's many special features.
With up to 36 miles per gallon, this hybrid lets you get further even with all-wheel drive. That means fewer fuel stops, more freedom, and more time spent wherever the road takes you.
Now is the time to nominate a deserving person in your community to win a 2026 Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid. Just head to king5.com/hero to enter your nomination. And you can learn more about the Hyundai Santa Fe hybrid. You can visit HyundaiUSA.com, and we'll announce our nominees and how you can vote in the coming weeks. All right, this morning you're in the right spot. We're going to turn up the heat in the kitchen here with Tony Wilson, the flavor master behind Papa Tony's Hot Sauce. Maybe you've seen him at the farmer's market. He's showing us how a simple veggie omelet can go from everyday to elevated, all with a splash of his signature hot sauce. Tony, great to have you with us. Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you for having me.
I know you take hot sauce serious when you come wearing it.
Oh man, I tell
utility
people,
belt.
You got to have the right tools for the right job.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
indeed.
it. So how do we get started here? Because you got all the right stuff. A veggie omelet, I'm in. Eggs, I'm in. And we're going to dash it with your sauce. So
we're going to start off with our butter. I'm going to make an asparagus and mushroom omelet. I'm using local ingredients from the farmer's market. I've got eggs from Hell or High Water Farms. I've got asparagus from Alvarez Farms, mushrooms from Marrowstone Farms, and then I got cheese from the Neighbor Lady Cheese out in Maple Valley.
Well, I love that you're doing all of this locals. I love that you're a farmer's market. I celebrate it like the football season. When farmers markets open up, I get excited. But how did you get into hot sauce? Because it's having a minute right now, from rockin' grandmas, to hot ones. I mean, hot sauce is having a moment.
It is having a moment, and I'll tell you, hot sauce found me. So what happened was I was cooking a lot during the pandemic. Me and my wife we were living in New Orleans.
I was eating a lot during the pandemic. So
us too, right? Us too. I put on a couple pounds. But basically what I did is I went to the grocery store one day, and then I ended up seeing these habaneros, and I just walked up to them. I started throwing them in a cart. My wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I have no idea." So came up with an idea for a recipe, and then ended up taking it to market.
Well, and meanwhile, now your hot sauce is at farmers markets. They might
Yes.
see you there coming out with your utility belt on. How did that change the game for you? Some people might not take farmers markets seriously as a way to really get your product out there and to make a big splash.
Well, farmers markets were a great launching pad for the
Yeah.
business. Basically, it's a good platform because they have so many people that are coming every week and are literally, because Washington is so focused on local products, that
Right.
people are coming out literally trying to try new products, see what's new out there, and then they become very loyal to you. So I have people that have been eating my hot sauce for 4 or 5 years right
Yeah.
now, and they only eat my hot sauce.
I love it.
So yeah.
Eggs are still cooking.
Eggs are still cooking, so we're rocking those out.
You've got, I had that you had 4 flavors, but I see 6 here.
I got 6 flavors.
It's
Yep.
expanding, Papa.
Yep. And then I got 3 more coming out this year.
Wow,
So I've
okay.
got jalapeno dream, roasted garlic jalapeno tomatillo, garlic habanero, mango habanero. My ghostly garlic is roasted garlic and ghost pepper. Scorpion's kiss is strawberry and scorpion peppers. And then my Caribbean crush is cinnamon allspice, pineapple, Scotch bonnet, and Carolina Reapers.
Wow. Could you mix them? In my day, we called it the graveyard. We did that with soda. If you had every flavor of soda, it was the graveyard. Could you mix them all together, or is that gonna really
You
clash?
can mix them all. And they'll still taste really good.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Which one do you use at home?
My personal favorite is the garlic habanero because that was the first one I ever made.
Okay. The
And then-
flagship.
Yeah, so that's the flagship. We call it the OG.
Okay. I love that.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead.
So how do we know when it's time to add a little bit more here?
Well, right now they're cooking up pretty good, so we're gonna go ahead and add our mushrooms and asparagus. Again,
You
our
let that
local-
bottom cook, but you're going to add the asparagus here while the top is still doing its thing?
Yes, indeed.
Okay.
Add that. Then we're gonna go ahead and add our cheese as well. And just speaking of the farmers markets, neighborhood farmers markets are their seasonal markets are opening in June. So they're Wednesday through Friday markets, and they also have 2 year-round markets that are open already.
Sure.
And then the Lake City Farmers Market that's typically open on Thursdays after October will be going to an extension where they'll be doing every Saturday.
Wow. Well, and we're living in that farm-to-table society, and
Yes.
so many of our flower farmers, our produce farmers, are really in our backyard. So if people are not into the farmers market thing, it might be time to reconsider that because it is such a wonderful resource. Not to mention that you're supporting your neighbors, and
Yes, indeed.
you're a great example of a neighbor supporting neighbors.
Yeah.
So how do you decide who to work with here?
So we just build a lot of relationships. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Like we're like a family at the farmers markets. Every farmers market you could think of, a lot of the same vendors are
Yeah.
there. We know each other's family members. Like they know all my kids. I know their kids. We know each other's wives and everything like that. Cousins, everything. So we're very close knit. You know what I mean? And so we know the reasons behind why we started business, and we really kind of feed into that, right? So I'm making money, and we're making money together in the same way.
As you're bringing this veggie omelet together, talk to people about what do you wish they knew about running your own hot sauce business? Because I'm sure there's people watching right now that say, oh, we make that great sauce, or Mom makes
Right.
that amazing sauce. We ought to bottle it up and sell it. What do you wish people knew about the realities of creating this product and then bringing it to the market?
The reality is it's a lot of work.
Sure.
But I love the work, right? I love the process, I love the work, but it's a lot of work. A lot of people think they can make a product and they can just throw it to market and people
Right.
are gonna wanna buy it because they love it, right? But I don't know why, I'm not you, so I can't tell you why your grandmother's cookies are the best cookies.
Sure.
But you really gotta get out there. You gotta be at every event. You gotta be touching people, you gotta be giving out samples, you know what I mean? And you gotta be able to accept that some people aren't gonna like your product. So it's
Sure.
the whole process behind it that sometimes people, may not necessarily be the most comfortable with dealing with the whole process, but it's a lot of work. It's a consistent grind, and you just gotta love the process, right?
Right. Speaking of the process, what's next? I mean, you went from idea to your own kitchen to out in the market, farmers markets.
Yeah.
What's next? I mean, you said you've got more coming here. You're
I got
working
3
on a
new-
baker's dozen before we know it here.
Yeah. So I got 3 new sauces coming. I'm in about 16 farmers markets total. So you can see me pretty much all over the state of Washington. I'm in about 200 stores, including PCC markets, town and country markets, and then the
Wow.
market of choice in Oregon. And it's just really just keeping it going, keeping to build the relationships. We love what we do. Like I've worked a lot of jobs, and I love waking up every day. If I got to wake up at 4 in the morning and be at work 19 hours, I love it. My kids love it. My wife loves it. My mom loves it. This is really our family business.
This is amazing. And, in a world where they say you are what you eat and you are what you eat ate, getting good stuff from your local farmers markets is a strategic choice.
Yes,
And
indeed.
what about your hot sauces? How do you find what ingredients you're going to put inside of them? Because people are reading the labels more and more than they ever used to, right?
Well, I use all fresh ingredients, no
Yeah.
artificial preservatives, all clean ingredients. So I'm
Love it.
very particular on that. The majority of my peppers are sourced locally.
Smells so good.
All of my produce is sourced locally, and the majority of my fruit is sourced locally as well. I just can't get mango locally, right?
Okay.
But yeah, it's really important to me to have a clean product because
Yeah.
it's actually really easy to make hot sauce in a very clean way. And it brings me joy when people come up to me and they read the label and they're like, "Oh, this is good stuff."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just it feels like I'm doing my part.
This is sizzling. It's steaming. It's ready. I want to dive in. Can you hit me with
ready?
some sauce? 'Cause,
Man, I
you're
got
wearing
you.
it. Hit
So
me. Hit me
listen.
with what I should have.
I always say you gotta have the right tools for the job, and so I got our mango habanero coming right up.
This is more
for you.
practical than what Batman wears. It really is. Just
Man.
every day. I'm going to get right into it because I don't
There
even
we
want to
go.
wait on this. Wow. And this is your favorite, right?
That's my
This is the
favorite.
habanero.
Uh-huh.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yes,
Fantastic.
indeed. Yes,
Simple
indeed.
ingredients, totally clean.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit you one more
That's with
time.
me.
Look,
I know. I
this-
was going to say I still feel it. I'm going to
That's-
feel this into the commercial break here.
That's some of that jalapeno dream right there.
Thank you so much. Great to see you.
Thank you.
Look for him at the farmers markets, ladies and gentlemen. The Seattle neighborhood seasonal farmers markets start back up again in May and in June. Thanks so much for spending time with us today. For more New Day, subscribe on YouTube. Be sure to download our King 5 Plus app for free. Don't forget to enjoy your new day. We'll see you next time.